In 1 Kings 17, there's a story about the prophet Elijah. At God's prompting, he announced an immediate drought in Israel. What a courageous thing to do. Perhaps it was even more challenging for Elijah to rely on God completely to provide for him during the following years of drought. Of course, God provided for him, first through ravens delivering meat, and second, by sending him to the home of a widow. Now, the widow was an unusual choice of provider for Elijah. She had nothing to offer him. In fact, she was nearly ready to prepare her last meal for herself and her child and then give up and die. Yet miraculously, she always had enough food for one more meal for herself, Elijah, and the child. God gave them all strength for the journey that they were on. Can we trust him in both good times and hard times to do the same for us? Hi, I'm Jo, and I'm the consultant for prayer advocacy for the Wycliffe Global Alliance. One of my responsibilities is to develop resources for the Wycliffe World Day of Prayer, observed every year on or around the 11th of November. This year, our theme is Strength for the Journey. As part of the Alliance leadership team, I've been saddened to learn of the challenges that many Alliance organisations have faced in recent months. I feel encouraged to know that God has strengthened and helped us too. I've heard stories of amazing provision and new strategies born out of the limited things that we can still do despite pandemic restrictions. I see that God is at work among us in ways that we didn't anticipate. Are you feeling weary? I think many of us may feel overwhelmed at times. All of us have faced challenges in recent months that have left us feeling bruised, uncertain, and weaker than we expected to feel. Yet we are not without hope. We can turn together to God to find strength for the journey. We can trust him to continue guiding and sustaining us. One of the reasons I love the Bible is that through it we see that God recognizes our human frailty. He knows that we get physically tired and emotionally, mentally, and spiritually weary. I'm always encouraged by Psalms of Lament and stories of spiritual heroes who have spiritually weak moments, but then encounter God as rescuer and provider. If we consider the story that I mentioned at the beginning, we may identify more with Elijah or more with the widow. Either way, we too can experience God's provision whether the journey is easy or difficult. God recognizes our weakness and the reasons why. But the good news is that, as Isaiah 40 verse 28 onwards tells us, the Lord is the everlasting God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He will not grow tired or weary, and his understanding no one can fathom. And here's his promise to us. He gives strength to the weary and increases the power of the weak. Even youths go tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. We have turned to God individually to ask him for help in these difficult days, but we experience his power and presence more deeply when we call on him together in unity. Join us for the Wycliffe World Day of Prayer this year on the 11th of November. All around the world, Alliance organisations and our partners will gather to pray, as we do every year, for the Bible translation movement. This year, we will also look to God to renew our strength and refresh us so that we can keep serving him and keep being fruitful. Praise God that he gives us strength for the journey.